They're not concerned about hurting someone else. And if they do, they don't feel sorry. It's not that they don't know right from wrong, it's just they don't care. Hey, it's Dr. Phil. Welcome back to Fill in the Blanks. As you know, we are in the middle of a series about personality disorders. We're talking about the toxic personalities in your life. As I've told you, I'm not wanting this to be like a formal presentation. I'm wanting to just have a conversation with you. And because of that, you guys have been responding with a lot of questions. I'm going to try to take some of those this time and or next to respond. And first off, I want to take a second to thank everybody that is subscribing to the podcast. And I'm saying that because the response that I've been getting from all of you that subscribe to and listen to Fill in the Blanks on this series about toxic personalities has just been so overwhelming that it's really humbling. And I truly look to do those things that I think are going to make a difference in your lives. You're telling me that this is making a huge difference, which means I've hit upon something that I'm passionate about, because I know in my life, having grown up the way that I have, the path that I have, knowing how to contend with, deal with, manage some of these difficult personalities has made a huge difference in, I think, where I've been successful and where I've had difficult times. So I've wanted to share that. So thank you for responding so much, for all of your comments and for all of your questions. Again, I'm not asking you to diagnose people. I want you to say, bingo, red flag, I need to be cautious about this. Now, today, I want to talk about the antisocial personality disorder. This is something you probably haven't referred to as antisocial personality disorder or ASPD. You've probably talked about it in your life as psychopathy or sociopathy. And you've done that because it's been described or assigned those terms historically across time. We've said, that guy's a psychopath. And that's still used in common parlance. And that's okay. Look, I told you I'm not big into labels, other than it helps us to know that we're treating the right thing. So it's a shorthand for therapists to use between themselves. If you're referring a patient to someone else or a client to someone else, then you can use this shorthand. It's for insurance purposes as well, but I don't really care how you refer to it in your own mind, whether you call it antisocial personality or psychopath or sociopath. Now, there are some slight differences that I'm going to talk about in a little bit, but however you want to think about it, it's okay. We're talking about the granddaddy of personality disorders. This is a pattern of disregarding or violating the rights of others. Now, what we've talked about so far with narcissism and borderline personality, it had a lot to do with what they were doing with themselves. Narcissists wanted to be the center of attention. So again, that was about them. Now, that doesn't mean they weren't crowding you out, stealing your time, your attention, your thunder, dominating and all. That's true. But a lot of this had to do with their insecurities, their need for attention. It was about them, their fear of abandonment, etc. And with borderline personality, that was an interactive disorder, but it wasn't always necessarily something that was weaponized. But when we're talking about the antisocial personality, this is a pattern that disregards or actively violates the rights of others, meaning you. If you're in a relationship with somebody that has this disorder, they're either completely ignoring your rights or they're actively violating them. This shows up early in life. This occurs way more in men than it does in women. A lot. That testosterone gets to flowing, and these men, it just shows up like 6, 7 times more in men than it does in women. And it is way overrepresented in the prison population. Why? Because these people don't follow rules. They don't respect authority. They come into conflict with authority. They're going to come into conflict when they're young with the authorities at school, with their parents, with coaches, scout leaders, whoever. They just come into conflict with authority on a regular basis. And as they get older, their ability to create bad problems, to create conflict of gravity that has more dire consequences just goes up. So they're overrepresented in the jail and prison population because now the authority they're coming into conflict with are the police. So they don't follow traffic rules. They have a suspended license. They don't care. They're going to drive anyway. They say you're not supposed to drink and drive. They don't care. They're going to do what they want to do. The speed limit says 30. They'll go 60. It doesn't matter. They don't conform to social norms. They're going to do what they want to do because they have a disregard for other people's rights. They're not concerned about hurting someone else. And if they do, they don't feel sorry. They don't feel remorse about it. Failure to conform to social norms, deceitfulness, manipulativeness, impulsivity, irritability, and aggressiveness. This is where I say they violate the rights of others. Reckless disregard for the safety of self or others. That's why I said they'll drive drunk, they'll speed at unsafe levels. Irresponsibility. Again, they'll drive recklessly, they'll drive 120 miles an hour down the freeway. They're irresponsible. They're not concerned for their safety or your safety. And they have, this is a big one, a lack of remorse. If they do something that hurts you, they get you fired, they get you in trouble, they wreck your car, they get you injured. It's not like they go, oh my God, I feel so terrible. No, they don't. The only time these people feel remorse is at getting caught. If they feel sorry, they're sorry they got caught. They're not sorry for what they did. They're sorry they got caught for what they did. We do know that there does seem to be a genetic factor, meaning that if there's someone in the family that has this history, that it's more likely to reoccur in the family. Environmental factors can influence this. If this has been role modeled by someone in the family, if there are environmental conditions where this kind of behavior is rewarded or at least not punished or rewards withheld, it's likely to occur. And it can occur pursuant to traumatic brain injuries where parts of the brain where impulse control is generally asserted is just simply not in control anymore because the behavior inhibition is just not there. So you may see this as early as childhood. And how is it going to express then? Well, you're going to see fire setting because they don't have impulse control. You may see cruelty to animals because they don't have the ability or the opportunity or the guts to be cruel to peers or adults. So you'll see cruelty to small animals that can't really fight back. And again, as I say, you'll see conflict with authority at every level of their life. As I said, they often have legal problems because they don't follow the rules and they violate other people's rights, and that gets them called out. That gets them in trouble, and they tend to act out impulsively. And when I say impulsively, they don't sit there and think, okay, if I do A, B could happen. Let me weigh that out. No, they don't do that. They don't say, if I drive down this road at twice the speed limit, a child could come out of a driveway and I wouldn't be able to stop. They don't think that. They just think it's fun to go fast, so off they go. They don't think about the consequences of their actions. You've heard me say many times, you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. They don't even think about consequences. They just choose the behavior. Now, you're going to see these people display a lot of irritability. Their tolerance levels The threshold for them flying off the handle, for them getting angry, for them blowing up and losing their temper is very low. Their distress tolerance is not good. They're kind of hair triggered. So you're going to see a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of irritability. And as a result, they tend to get into a lot of physical confrontations. Assertiveness is when you confidently, directly express your needs or feelings clearly, but you do it without violating the rights of other people. Let me say that again. You confidently, directly express your needs or feelings very clearly, but you do it without violating the needs or rights of somebody else. Now, aggression is when you are forceful, destructively hostile, you are attacking in your behavior, and it threatens the rights of other people. Those are not the same thing. So let me read some of these descriptors. Assertiveness is confident, it's self-assured, it's direct, it's clear, it's positive, but it respects the rights of other people. Aggression is forceful, hostile, attacking, destructive, threatening, and violates the rights of other people. Now, think about that. You can be assertive by saying, look, I'm not comfortable with what's going on here, and I'm not going to choose for you. You do what you feel like you need to do, and I'll do what I feel like I need to do. I'm not going to try to control you, but I'm exercising my independent right to withdraw from this situation. So I'm going to excuse myself and let you make up your own mind about what you're going to do. So I'll see you or talk to you another time. So excuse me, and I'm going to say goodnight. Okay, you're being very clear. I'm not okay with this. Not trying to tell you what to do, but I'm telling you what I'm going to do. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I'm being very confident, being very self-assured. I'm being very direct. I'm leaving. Okay? I'm not ambiguous about this. I'm being very clear, and I'm being positive. You do what you want to do. I get that that's your right, and I respect that right. I'm not trying to control you. Do what you want to do. I'm going to say goodnight. That's assertive. That's your right. You have the right to do what you want to do when you want to do it because you are a free-thinking, intelligent individual. That's an assertive thing to do. Now, an aggressive thing to do that would have the same goal of getting out of the situation would be forceful, hostile, and attacking, where you would say, hey, let me tell you something. I'm not putting up with your crap anymore. You're wrong. You shouldn't have me here. You shouldn't be here. I'm not taking this from you anymore. You're an idiot for bringing me here. I'm not going to put up with this. And if you ever do this to me again, you're going to see the end of me. You need to understand that. And you're either coming with me or we're done. Okay, now, you've gotten very aggressive here. You're forceful and hostile. You've attacked them. You've called them an idiot. You've threatened them. You're not ever going to see them again if they don't do what you want them to do. You've threatened the future of the relationship. You've just put everything, the relationship on the line, which is very manipulative. You're doing this probably in public, so you're just stepping all over them. Does it get you out of the situation the same way the assertiveness did? Yes, but it's like killing a mosquito with a shotgun. It's overkill. You don't need to do it. You can be assertive and say, listen, I just need to tell you I'm going to excuse myself. You do what you want to do or need to do, but as for me, I'm going to say goodnight and we'll talk another time. So take my leave and so long. Okay, forceful, you're very clear, you're just positive and you're gone. The other way, you assassinate their character on your way out the door and threaten them while you're doing it. Very different. Myth number 3, antisocial personality disorder is an excuse for poor behavior. No, it is not. These people know right from wrong. One of the things that I had to deal with in court work was sometimes helping the court to decide if the behavior that the court or the jury had to sit in judgment of was an irresistible impulse or an impulse not resisted. Was it an irresistible impulse or an impulse not resisted? And there is a big, big difference. An irresistible impulse means the person was out of control and had no choice, like blackout anger. An impulse not resisted is they just had an impulse and made the choice not to resist it. Antisocial personality disorders know the difference between right and wrong, and they just don't care. They don't have the ability to predict how the person's going to feel that they're victimizing. They don't have the capacity to feel remorse, so they just don't care. They'll choose to go ahead. They know the difference. They just go ahead. Now, again, these are people that can be very charming. They can get close to you. Short term, they can come across as really confident. A lot of con men have antisocial personality disorder. They come across as very confident. We forget that con man is short for confidence man. They instill confidence in others because they come across very confidently. There's a fake charm. There's manipulativeness. There's a dishonesty. But they hide it. They are ruthless. And the more you get out on the ends of the continuum towards this really cold-blooded psychopaths, the worse it gets. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because these are dangerous people. They will charm the pants off everybody in the room. They disregard your feelings. And when you look at them, once I've gotten you sensitized to this, where you look for these red flags, you'll look at them and say, they don't even believe what they're saying. And the way you know they're lying is if their lips are moving, because as I said, these people lie because they want to take what's not theirs. They want to escape accountability. They want to create a fantasy world where they're the hero. They lie, lie, lie. But they're so charming, you can't seem to stay mad at them. They love bomb you. They'll come on so strong. They love, 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 love you. Tell you what you want to hear. And before you know it, they're gaslighting you. And you're getting blamed for their faults, and they're spending your money and driving your car and eating your food and staying in your apartment. And they're doing it while you're off going to work. And here is a clue. This is a big giveaway. Listen and see if they are bragging to you about how they have conned, manipulated, or gotten even with somebody they were in a relationship with before you. Now, hear what I just said. Think about it. Are they bragging about how they outsmarted, victimized, or exploited somebody in a relationship before you? How they really put the pants on somebody before you? How they conned somebody out of their money? How they pulled the wool over their eyes? How they got the advantage, the upper hand? and really came out the winner in a relationship before you. They don't have the ability to understand that you would be sitting there thinking, wait a minute, is he going to be saying that about me with somebody else a month from now? They don't see that. But I want you to see it. I am going to take the narcissistic personality, the borderline personality, the antisocial personality, and a few others, and I am going to roll them into one, and I'm going to tell you how they get into your life, how they exploit you, and what you can do to inoculate yourself, to put a force field around yourself. And then I'm going to give you the strategy you need to be a winner, even in a world where you have toxic personalities swirling all around you. Because there is a winning strategy. Even if you realize there are sharks in the water, I don't see the world as a negative place. I don't see the world as a necessarily hurtful place. I see the world for what it is. There are some good people out there. There are some bad people out there. But there is a strategy that you can use to A, protect yourself, and B, come out a winner. I want you to have a strategy. I want you to know that you're not a victim. I want you to know that there is a plan that you can execute. The next sessions that we're going to spend together may be the most important sessions we have ever had. I will see you. You will hear me next Tuesday. So long.